So I got sick. It was great. I'm still sick, but I want to make a video because I find my stories by going on Twitter, and then I just see like this headline by someone in, progressive media, and it just makes my blood boil. So one of them was Trump is going to cut SNAP, food stamps for low income families. It hits 45 states, and majority of them are red states. Yep. Trump voters! They hit Trump voters the hardest. So I want to read you this article, and let's go through it together, and let's see how horrible Trump is, and let's see how amazing Trump is for working families. Because he's a man of the people. Okay, he's a man of the people. Let's read this. Let's see what he's doing to families who can't even afford to do anything. All right, let's take their food away. The Trump administration plans to gut food stamps, hitting red states the hardest. 3.6 million Americans will lose food stamps under a regulatory maneuver nobody in Congress likes. 1.9 million of them live in Trump country. Trump doesn't care. Let me go through it. Donald Trump's latest attack on working families will hit especially hard in states that voted for him. More than half of the people who are set to lose access to food stamps under regulations proposed this summer, which was in July, live in states that went for Trump in 2016. So 3.6 million Americans are going to lose their food stamps. Just gone, completely gone. Like, you can find out how to get food yourself. 1.9 million of them live in Trump territory. But he cares about you. Definitely. He's a man of the working class. He cares about the forgotten American. The forgotten. Get out of here. 1 in every 12 people who receive food stamps nationwide will lose them under the new policy. Some 3.6 million people, according to the new analysis of Mathematica. The private policy analysis firm, the Department of Agriculture, the USDA has relied upon for the past 40 years. Okay, I don't think I was going to read that. I want to read the end of it. Her team found 34% of elderly Texans receiving benefits will lose them through this rule. Texas, hardcore red state, 34% of elderlies will not be able to get food anymore. Now, it's not like a cut, like they'll get less. It's they don't get it at all. Hey, Trump wants to cut that for 3.9 million of them. Because who cares about poor people? Almost 400,000 people in Texas currently receiving Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP, benefits would lose them. Around 328,000 in Florida, 200,000 in New York, 97,000 in Georgia, and 176,000 in Washington State face cuts, to name a few of the standouts. So, almost 500,000 people in Texas, 34% of them are elderly people, or the old. And 328,000 in Florida. Wait, I thought Trump cared about the forgotten Republicans. I thought he cared about the working class. Oh, wait, he doesn't? He just wants to cut your food? Weird. Almost 1 in 5 Wisconsin households currently getting help with their groceries will lose the benefit, as well as 16% of households in Oregon, Nevada, Iowa, and Delaware. 2 of every 13 SNAP households in Minnesota and Texas will have to find food money elsewhere. He does not care about anyone but himself. He does not care about the average American who is struggling. He only cares about his donors, the rich, and corporations. He lied. And we knew he lied. The left, we knew he lied. But when you are down and out and you are not given an option, a piece of crap looks real good. Most of this is just a bunch of oh my God, this is what I wanted to focus on. The administration forecasts a $10 billion total drawdown in SNAP spending over the next 5 years once the policy is enacted. It didn't estimate the long-term cost of making families hungrier and more desperate. Cutting this will only give the government $10 billion. 10 times that is this year's military budget. We increased the military budget 81 to 100 billion 81 to 100 billion dollars. We have money for that. We have money for endless wars. We have money to give billions of dollars to oil corporations and fossil fuel industries. We have money for that. But when it comes to feeding Savannah, when it comes to feeding damn Rebecca in Missouri, who can't support her kids because she doesn't make enough money because she's getting minimum wage, let her starve. She deserves to starve. Her kids deserve to starve. You have no empathy. If you support Trump or these policies, you have no empathy. He's going to do these things. 10 billion is nothing compared to how much we spend on military, how much we give every year to huge corporations, and we just passed a $2 trillion tax cut for the 1% in corporations, but we do not have $10 billion to give to the poor people who need food to eat, to the children who are going to starve now. This also now cuts out kids' lunch. Now kids aren't going to be able to, some kids who need to apply to get free lunch. Yeah, the families of those kids are out. They will not be able to enroll. They're still making $40,000. $40,000 ain't a lot. In a family of 4, it is not a lot. Cutting it down to $32,000, there is no reason to do that. The only reason you do it is because you want to stick it to poor people. There is no economic benefit or moral benefit to kicking 3.9 million Americans off of SNAP. You have never looked like... I work in retail. I work in Food Line. I've seen the people who use SNAP, who use EBT, who use food stamps. Okay? Every time they use it, there's a family. Every single time. It's never some rich guy using food stamps. It's always a family. Always a mom or always a dad who's got his kids, who's got 3 to 4 infants with him. And to think, they'd be like, sorry, bud. Go away. Find food money elsewhere. It's disgusting. And to think that the majority of these cuts are hitting Trump country. They're not hitting blue states, they're hitting red states. The same people who brought him into office, he's turning around, slapping them in the face and going, good luck finding food. And it's sad. I believe that some people would still turn around and vote for him. Or even if you told them this, they'd be like, okay, wow, I don't care. Or they wouldn't believe you. But for the people who aren't too far gone, who do like facts, who do understand that facts are a thing, Trump doesn't care about you. The left will care about you. Bernie Sanders will care about you. I want to read this. 1 in every 9 people currently benefiting from SNAP in Michigan will be booted under the new rule. Roughly 165,000 men, women, and children in total. Trump won the state by just 10,704 votes. Doesn't care if you voted for him. He doesn't care about you. He just cares about making as much making enough money as he can, giving all the money to his donors, to the rich, to corporations. He does not care about you. He does not care about you. I don't think there was anything else in this article that I needed to cover. I think it's just the same old, same old. Trump doesn't care about anyone who is below him, who is poor. This will not affect Trump or his donors or anyone in the 1%. It will only affect families making below $40,000. We'll now turn to families making below $32,000. So if you make 33, you can't get food. Nice. I wanted to throw in a clip about to emphasize the reason of why Trump doesn't care about his own voters. The story is from CNN, and they cover a steel worker who blatantly was a Trump supporter. And he goes, yeah, no, Trump forgot about us. Trump does not care. So just watch.
There are too many towns that symbolize the boom and bust in the Rust Belt. Monessen, Pennsylvania is one of them. Once a thriving steel town with a population of 25,000, but now the steel mills shuttered and just a fraction of the people remain. If Monessen is a poster child of the steel industry's good times and bad, is Monessen now going to become the poster child of the president's trade war and a failed campaign promise when the president said he'd bring that industry back? CNN's Vanessa Yurkevich went to find out.
I'm going to look at the mill because I got so many memories.
It's been 32 years since John Gollum worked in this steel mill in Monessen, Pennsylvania. Once the lifeblood of this town, now it's gone. He still wears his jacket to remember.
But this is all I have left after all those years I had with the mill. I gave my heart and soul. And there's many men and women who did the same as I, and especially in Pittsburgh area. And it's like we were spat upon.
Which is why this Democrat voted Republican for the first time after then candidate Donald Trump came to town.
Many of these areas have still never recovered and never will unless I become president.
And then we had Donald Trump come here and profess about reviving American steel. And that's just what all of us steelworkers wanted to hear. Then when he was elected, he pulled a Houdini on us. He disappeared.
Monessen was a thriving steel town, but it's lost half its population since the mill closed in the 80s. Today, it's coming apart at the seams. The poverty rate is 60% higher than the national average, and now what little business remains is being threatened by the trade war. But all from China.
They're all from China, right. Yeah.
Buzzy Byron also worked at the steel mill, but he's found new life in his fireworks shop and sports apparel store in town. Both will be hit with a 15% tariff.
Nobody wants to see the price goes up. I don't care what it is. You know, you don't want to come in here this year and spend $10 for this and then come back next year and spend 15. And I feel bad because I know all of these people, and I don't, you know, I feel bad to where I'm not going to let you pay that bigger, higher price.
The trade war is expected to cost American families $1,000 more each year.
That is something that residents that are already struggling can't afford. We need jobs here, but we need jobs that fit the 21st century. We were founded to help supplement what Pittsburgh was doing with steel, and I think that we could play that role again.
While the mayor sees opportunity, Gollum has lost hope. He says voters in the Rust Belt like him believed President Trump had their backs, helping to elect him. Now, he feels lied to. If you had an opportunity to see the president again, if he came back to Monessen, Pennsylvania, what would you say to him?
He wouldn't speak to me. He
Why?
wouldn't speak to me because I'd have to tell him the truth. Where are your promises?
Those are the people we have to get. You heard, he voted for Obama, and then he voted for Trump. This guy isn't a racist. He isn't some sort of bigot, okay? He is the people who are not too far gone. He voted for Trump because he wanted change. He wanted to see his town, his job, boom again. Okay, Trump promised that, and we knew he was lying. But that is now not uncommon anymore. Trump supporters around the country are starting to figure out that, wow, this guy is not with me. As you heard it from that steelworker, he does not like him anymore because he got lied to, and he was lied to. Now you put a progressive like Bernie Sanders to that guy, done. Everyone is blue. Every state is blue, almost. Bernie would destroy a general election in front of Trump. Destroy. I'm talking like 35 plus, 40 plus states, Bernie Sanders. Because you put a real populist in front of a fake populist, it's over. We could grab states like Texas, okay? We could grab states that went for Trump. We can grab the Midwest with Bernie Sanders policies, Bernie Sanders proposals, Bernie Sanders attitude, Bernie Sanders legitimacy, a Bernie Sanders We can win. We just have to make our case. We can win. Trump cutting food stamps. Trump lying to everyone. It's going to catch up to him. It already is. Hey, if you liked the video, please like, comment, subscribe. I want to read your comments. I want to meet you guys. So yeah, leave a comment. leave a subscribe, leave a like, and I will see you in the next video.